where we will spend the next hour playing an hour of Dungeons & Dragons for your benefit. Now, we are in hour 72 of our ongoing adventure, so you are coming in 72 hours into the story, and there are another 28 left to go. Now, obviously, that means that you will be coming in halfway, nearly three-quarters of the way through the story, so there will obviously be points where you're going, so what? What are you doing? What's going on? That's perfectly fair. If there were any reason you'd like to shout out from the audience saying, I'm confused, please explain more, you are more than welcome to. We have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement from the audience for the benefit of anyone who have difficulty being still or silent for the hour. We are not technically a relaxed performance, however, in the technical term, because there will be some loud sound effects during the show from Wilhelm at the back. Excellent, there we go. Splendid. The lighting will stay. The lighting will stay exactly as it is now. And if you need to pop out for any reason, you can pop out through either of the doors that you could have entered through. There's 2 doors. And beyond that is a foyer where there are people wearing red and black t-shirts with the sweet logo on them, which is for the venue. They will happily assist you with anything that you need, and will also need to be there to let you back in if you want to come back in, as the doors are on a key fob system. If you need anything in the room, our stage manager Nemo is there. Nemo is here to give you any assistance that you need, so give them a wave or catch their eye, and they will happily help you out during the hour if you need anything in the room. So, what are we doing? We're playing Dungeons & Dragons. For those who are unaware, what that means is the 4 people to my left and right play characters in a shared fantasy universe. I play the shared fantasy universe. So everything they encounter, everything they do, any traps they have to deal with, any people, all the rest of it, that's all me. Accents will be sometimes. That's how you put it. To make sure that I don't abuse that position of extreme power that I have in front of me, they all have character sheets with various abilities on them, with lots of maths, basically. We will try and avoid the maths as much as possible to keep the story flowing, where they will be using dice rolls to do things. A 20-sided dice is the most common dice they will use. A 1 is appalling, a 20 is brilliant. Feel free to boo and or cheer, depending on how you feel about the character, obviously. Your prerogative.
Can we get a test?
Sorry?
Can we get a test?
Oh, test of the audience, of course. Because you can respond from the audience if you want at any point. Let's see if you are up for the challenge. Can I have a sort of panto ooh, please? Ooh. Yeah, they're a good audience! Love it! You'd be surprised how many people don't do that. English.
Oh, no, they won't.
English people. English people is my only response to that. Good. Lovely.
Thanks, Chris.
You're more than welcome. Going around the table, starting on my right, can you please give your name, your pronouns, your character's name, their pronouns, and a brief physical description so we can get a nice image of them.
Hi, I'm Oz. I'm a he, and I'm playing Shelby. He is also a he. And Shelby is sort of a wizened old figure. However, he's not human. He is, in fact, a turtle, which is a sort of humanoid turtle. He's an old figure. Imagine if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got to go to old age.
Yeah.
Presumably they will at some point.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
I don't think there'll be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Middle-aged mutant ninja turtles. Oh, it's painful.
So he is a bard, so he has a guitar strapped to his back and does some magic involving fortune telling and so forth.
Splendid.
Oh, me next.
Yeah.
I'm Emma. I'm playing Ezzy, who is a Yuan-Ti sorcerer. So she is half snake, essentially. So if you're looking at her, she has black hair on one side and essentially an undercut, but it's purple scales, and it runs all the way down the left side of her body.
So a bit like my hair.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
And the scales.
purple scales.
Yeah,
Oh no, I cover the scales. No, yeah, a bit like my hair.
And she is a she-her, as am I.
Lovely, thank you.
EZHI.
Lovely.
Hi, my name is Bex. I use she/her pronouns. My character's name is Thatchy Moon. They are an orc ranger. They use they/them pronouns. Thatchy is your very typical orc that you might expect from Lord of the Rings, World of Warcraft, various other fantasy franchises are available. Thatchy started their mission around the mysterious ore that the cult have been using. They have been through quite a lot, and due to timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly things, they have aged exponentially, going from middle age to quite an elderly character. There were a few hours where it was OAP's hour with characters. Yeah, so they have recently managed to throw off some corruptive influences from the evil god and are now trying to just keep everyone alive as best that they can.
Splendid.
Excellent. I'm Tony. I am the new kid on the block here. This hour. I am definitely he. I am playing a human sorcerer who looks human. His name is Conservation. He is lawful good, which means he is a good, upstanding, big pain, stick up his butt kind of guy. He has very short crop blonde hair. He's fastidiously clean. He hates getting dirty. A good way to start a good fight with this guy is to splash mud on him. So, as to where he is, I have no idea. This man will tell me very soon.
And is that he, him as well?
Yes,
So,
yes, indeed.
Fab.
Splendid. Well, here's where we're up to. I have music back for some effect. There it is. We are in an eldritch dungeon. This dungeon is beneath a ziggurat. This ziggurat is on an island. This island is the last bastion of an evil cult. This evil cult worships an ancient elder god that turned up in this dimension about 5 years ago, basically destroyed most of it, and then disappeared. The cult formed around his disappearance, and then enslaved a lot of people in this country, in this world, to work in mines to mine a strange ore out of the ground that has strange explosive and time travel-y properties to it. The rebellion has been successful. They've managed to push the cult all the way back to this, their last stand in this presumably plane of existence, you don't know. You've fought your way through this dungeon. You've managed to open a door that looks like it might lead somewhere important. However, your ally from the last hour, who is not here because he was playing the last hour and isn't playing this hour, is now stuck, both his hands locked inside a plinth. The plinth has opened a door in front of you. Thatcher, you are standing in the doorway, making sure it stays open even if the plinth is moved or destroyed.
Yep.
The rest of you, apart from Ezzy, are standing around. I'm going to say, for the ease of my fucking sanity, that Konza has joined this situation from the beachhead and is now working with the party to try and break his way through the dungeon, if that's all right with you.
Just for the record, this dungeon was not.
Non-Euclidean.
Yeah, it wasn't accepting physics, and we would go through various rooms, and they wouldn't match up appropriately.
Yeah.
We hope this is the exit.
Yeah.
You managed to find your way through with considerable ease, Konza, considering you are a sorcerer and quite wise. Are you?
Yes.
There we go.
I'm much prettier and than I am wise, but
I think your sheer sense of personality and charisma pushed you through this dungeon at quite a rate to join the party to make my life
This is
easier.
the way to go.
Yeah.
And it was.
Just walked in and you were right. We were like,
I wish I had that.
much easier.
DM Fiat. So, the three of you and the unfortunate Bates are now in this room. Bates is locked to a plinth, and before you is an open doorway leading heaven knows where.
Bates, I'm very sorry, but we're going to have to keep going forward. We'll come back for you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
And I'll put like a few rations on the plinth. in
Like
his hands.
opened already, just so he
Opened,
can.
You may fairly assume, and I will allow this, that you have other members of your rebellion with you that will also be making their way through this dungeon at a much slower rate than you, and will therefore be able to help Bates out of this situation
Great.
should the need arise.
That sounds great.
That would be good. I would hate to leave something behind.
There.
Now, let's leave them behind.
We did hear a growling from ahead, so
You did?
perhaps we should prepare, ready ourselves.
As he's
You're
not
not there. Perhaps you should. Whatever, air.
Ezzy is not there because I planned something awful for him.
Thanks.
So, do you, if there's growling, there's probably some horrible beastie ahead.
How large are these corridors that we go through?
The door in front of you, which opened out, in fact she's now standing in the middle of, is about 20 foot wide. The other doorways you step through are much smaller, but this appears to be the way out.
So a big flashing exit sign above it.
In a fantasy universe context, yeah, why not?
Yeah, great.
Oh, I've got an idea. I could provide us with some level of inspiration to carry on with as a bard. I whip out the guitar.
Yes.
Props!
And I prepare my fingers. Well, this is a song to inspire us to defeat the battle ahead. Don't fucking die.
That's it. I'm confident
Do
we
we
will
get a
emerge
dice of
victorious now.
inspiration?
Yes, you can have an inspiration.
Yeah.
How many for inspiration dice are you giving
one
away?
D8.
Yeah, but who are you giving it
Oh,
to?
can I give it to both of them?
Absolutely, you can.
Excellent.
Cross off 2 uses of
Yeah.
inspiration on your sheet.
So
please.
1d8.
You now have a D8 you can add to Alabard.
To any attack roll, any ability check or attack roll, or any damage.
Oh, we can add it to damage as
So you can add it to any D20 roll that you make in the next 10 minutes, that's right. Plus you can also add it to damage if you want to during combat.
Amazing.
If you so desire.
Now, is there anything else anybody wants to do before we continue?
Depending on who's ahead, if I go first, I have a lovely lightning bolt spell, could possibly soften up the damage.
Oh, that sounds
creatures
wonderful.
Before the big, large people tear it limb from limb. That's you.
The one big large
Oh,
person.
yes.
The one.
Yes, I haven't seen you fighting things yet. This is going to be quite interesting.
Yes.
It's only hour 71.
Yeah, it's fine. How are you feeling? Do you need some?
I'm quite alright.
Do you need any juice?
Oh,
Can I
I
get
have
you-
a juice box.
I can give you a 1d8 of juice box.
I'm quite alright, but thank you.
Okay.
Lovely.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Do you have a
go.
Werther's original? Would you like one?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, I've seen those Iron Brew commercials. That sounds like the juice. Brought back somebody
We are not endorsed by Werther's Originals or Iron Brew.
Right.
Lovely.
Let's go.
good.
Let's go.
Legally speaking. So, you move forward down the darkened hallway, and
Yeah.
ahead of you,
I've
make
got
perception
my
checks. please.
arrow
Are you
ready. My bow's ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make
Yes.
perception checks. all
I roll a critical success.
Natural 20. Natural 20.
Yay.
Very good.
Mine is good, but
Ooh,
natural
dang.
20, so 18.
18.
Mine is 16.
16.
This is very good for me because I've rolled 5 ones this morning.
It's
so
not been a good day.
It's not
for that
been great.
Durin.
No,
Shelby,
no.
as you step forward into this darkened corridor, unlike the doorways you stepped through earlier, which were just quite blackened and you couldn't see through properly, you manage to make your way down this corridor, and ahead of you, you can hear again this faint grumbling voice.
Oh, does it sound like it's actually saying things? But I can't hear it.
You feel like it could say things, but it's choosing not to. You also hear about 20 much quieter voices, much higher pitched. And because you rolled a natural 20, you also hear a faint
I think there's
Magical
things
hum.
and a lawnmower ahead.
Ezzy.
Yes.
What kind of noise would someone hear if you were asleep?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's all you.
I just wondered if hearing magical sound.
Mhm.
I'm pretty good at guessing magical things.
You may make an Arcana check, absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Ooh, 13. 14.
14.
Not that much.
There is a magical effect. Sorry, 10 is good. There is a magical effect up ahead that appears to be doing something. From what you can hear, your trained sorceress ears gain a sense that it's probably some kind of magical effect that affects the mind.
Alright. Well, can't really help with that. Fuck up your minds. No.
You can, of course, add your inspiration dice to saving throws so that you have some.
Yes.
Do you think it might be like a charm or a frightening effect or anything like that?
Something affects the mind. If we're in a dangerous dungeon, I dare say it's probably not good.
Okay.
So,
Let's
Press on.
keep going. Yeah.
Are you doing so stealthily to try not to attract the attention of anything?
That sounds like
Yeah, and I am going to cast Pass Without a Trace on everyone.
Excellent. Cross off the spell slot. Describe how your Pass Without a Trace looks and works.
Cool. So I get my bow out, no arrows knocked, and I point it up towards the ceiling. As I ping the bow, there is no so lovely. There is no colour, there is no any visual, but there is a sense that something is hit into the ceiling, and across you, you feel like a trickle, kind of like a snowfall, but you can't see anything.
You now add plus 10 to your stealth checks.
24.
24.
Right, stealth check.
28.
28.
17.
17.
Continuing bad rolls for Bex.
Cool. You sneak your way down said corridor.
Well, you said you were a Black Panther Knight. I thought this was what you do. Yes.
Of course.
It's a big turtle person.
The three of you step forward into a much larger room than the cuboid rooms you have been in so far. Ahead of you, you are standing on what looks to be a walkway around the edge of said room. You do not see any doors at this level. As you peer over the edge, beneath you, there is again another large door, much like the one you just went through. Again, no visible handle, no visible way of getting through it without some kind of effect happening to it. I'm giving you that. In the middle of the room is a cage. The cage appears on a simple inspection to be made of some of the magical ore you've been encountering, with its strange time-warping explosive properties. Inside the cage, fast asleep, is a Yuan-Ti sorcerer that you've never met before, with pink hair, that's correct.
Black hair, purple scales.
Black hair, purple scales, that's correct. Around the cage, not noticing you yet, stalk a number of creatures. The first, much larger than the others. Gigantic claws. It is about 8 feet tall. It walks on what looks relatively humanoid legs. If anything, it looks like a human that's been experimented on and it's gone very, very wrong. Their mouth is permanently open and hangs down to their navel. As it moves around, the entire jaw structure, a bit like a turkey's wattle, flops as it moves.
She's really shocked.
Really shocked, constantly. And it is continuously making that noise. Around it, skittering around, are about 20 small monsters. Much like the large creature, they appear to be experimented on humanoids. They have no arms, just legs. They are relatively small, about 4 foot tall. And their 2 legs appear to be quite bouncy, they look quite quick, and the front of them has again, a grasping maw, but this looks more like a lamprey.
Arms, like just teeth.
Just teeth.
Circle.
Teeth, circle, teeth. And they are skittering around, interacting with the larger one. You don't know why they're here or what they're for, but they are standing between you, along with this cage and the inhabitant and the door. What would you like to do?
Where did you say the door was again?
Far side of the room, ground level, you're on the top. There are stairs to go down.
Circling the cage.
These creatures are all around the cage, meandering around.
Just a word of advice: don't shoot the cage, or we will all die.
The cage,
That was actually my next question.
Yep.
We
the
determined that
ore is, you would know as part of the rebellion, I'm going to give you this.
Ore and magic is bad combination.
Bad.
Ore
Very
and
bad.
magic activates it. If it's then given a short, sharp tap, it explodes.
Many people have died because of these explosions.
Someone literally turned themselves into fine ash.
Yeah.
It's a very harsh hour.
So that's in the center. If they're in a cage, then they're the enemy of those ones.
The enemy of the enemy is our friend, maybe?
Or maybe our enemy as well, but for now...
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
These look like horrible evil creatures. Has somebody caged up? Yes, we must free this person.
Ah, lawful good.
So, do you have any way to kill large numbers of creatures at the same time?
I do.
Without hitting the cage with any magic.
That's a bit more interesting.
Oh, look, a logic
now,
puzzle.
Perhaps
could maybe-
if someone can make some sort of distraction to get them all coming together into one
Can I wake
one
up at
area
some
of
point?
effect space,
Sorry.
you might say.
We'll get to you.
Cool.
I can distract them and act as bait, as it were. Does that
Put
sound-
them all in
Jesus.
one area, or better yet, a long line.
Yes.
That would be wonderful.
Conga.
Are you ready? If so, I'll do it.
I will show ready with the ice storm spell. I think, assuming that they're going to be a large clump rather than.
This room is only 30 foot square. Your ice storm will affect the cage as well. It's a 20-foot cube.
All right.
It's almost like I knew what was coming.
Try to put them in a line.
So I'm gonna.
Before you do.
I,
Yes.
being a sorcerer,
Yes.
the magic is natural within me.
Yes.
I have Thunderstep, which teleports myself.
Yes.
If I take that magic and work it and change it, me being 8th level, relatively experienced,
Bargaining! Go on.
by thereby giving up some of my other spell slots, could I teleport somebody else instead of myself?
Intriguing.
I am willing to sacrifice some of the magic spell slots.
Roll me an Arcana check to see how well you could work out this magical conundrum.
I will use that persuasion on this. Or,
Uh,
excuse me, the inspiration.
Inspiration, please do.
Inspiration.
I mean, it is an inspired choice.
Ooh, I rolled a 9, so 19 plus 24.
Yeah, you roll 1d8.
Oh,
That's-
D8.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Never mind. I was rolling the wrong one. Let's try that again.
It's all right.
That's good.
17, 18, 19, 23.
23.
It is
Thinking
a
about-
3rd level spell.
Thinking about your Thunderstep spell and how it works, what it does is it allows you to teleport and creates a thunderous explosion where you leave. I will absolutely allow you, as a very powerful sorcerer rolling a very high Arcana check, to weave the magic together and work out how you could do it effectively in reverse. To teleport someone else out of a situation and have a thunderous explosion where they left.
That was very much my plan.
Yes. I will allow that. What level spell slot is that?
It is a 3rd level spell. I have
4th level spell slots.
I have 2 spell slots.
It will use one of your 4th level spell slots to do this.
Let's do it. Crack
Hang
on.
Hang on, we'll get there. If that's the, do you want to explain to your colleagues that you're
Yes, of course, yes. Everything is yes.
Since you still need being alive as well, so I can do that as well.
If she's gone, then school is open.
Okay. I'm gonna go like a quarter of the way around the room to the side, still against the wall.
Okay.
The intent is.
Your stealth check remains.
Yeah. The intent is to, once you do that, I'm gonna bring them towards me.
Don't forget you are on a higher level,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah,
are beneath you.
yeah.
And there are plenty of different stairways going up around
I
the
think
side.
if we stay here and then there's any magic residue left over, it might explode the cage, kill everything, and we can try and stay out of the way.
Oh, that's fine. I'll stay here.
But it's up to you.
No, that's fine.
Clarification. Am I also using the 3rd level spell slot for the Thunderbolt?
No, just a 4th level.
Just
Right, you prepare that. We'll get to it. Ezzy, when the cult took over, you're the kind of person, as far as I understand it, who would have seen the benefit of siding with the people winning. Is that fair? Lovely. You sided with the cult, started to get a little concerned about what was going on. You know a little about how they operate, which will be useful in later adventures. But,
If I survive that long, yeah.
but at this point, they worked out that you were no longer really on side, and they wanted to make you part of a horrific trap for the people they know are approaching, which is why you were placed in this cage. When you were taken and placed in this cage, you note that the creatures that they summoned shy away from it. They never get more than about 5 feet of it. And as you are pushed towards it by the cultists, they too don't get within 5 feet of it and push you towards it, saying, inside. As you step forward into the cage, and the door is magically closed behind you, with a faint wafting of energy over the cage and the ore within it, briefly activated and then subsiding. Inside the cage, make a wisdom saving throw.
20. Not a natural 20.
No, 20, not natural. 8 is not enough.
Crikey.
Within the cage, as you are placed within it, you start having visions appear before you. A combination of memories of what happened before and ideas of what could happen next. And in your mind plays through a possible scenario. This cult is nothing. You could easily rule over them. They're weak, you're strong. Every part of your Yuan-Ti heritage speaks of the fact that you are superior, and that humanoids other than yourself are not. And you can envisage a situation where you take over the cult, take everything back and become the leader. You envisage the scenario where you live to be the villain of your own piece. It's up to you how much that affects your choices later, but your mind is filled with ideas and visions of this that may or may not influence your decision making. You very quickly go bored and tired of this room. You've been in here for days. You have not been fed. You have effectively one level of exhaustion.
Great.
But you are probably awoken by this effect. Please describe how your spell manifests itself.
Conjure stops and concentrates for a moment, raises his hands to the heavens and brings them together. As he does, there is a inrush of air from the cage. There, the cage. You see Ezzy. You see Ezzy waving for a moment and then disappear. And as she does, as she fades away, there's a tremendous explosion. Sounds very much like that from the inside of the cage.
Thunderous energy.
Thunderous energy is detonated.
Do you know what the range on Thunderstep's thunderous energy is? Don't worry if you don't. I can check.
10 feet.
10 feet. None of the creatures go within 5 feet of this thing, so none of them are affected by the thunderous type of energy. But
it can, however, be heard up to 300 feet away.
oh yeah,
It's a big,
let's be
loud
very
thunder.
clear. There is a very loud thunder strike as he disappears next to and appears next to you, Thunder, awake. And the creatures downstairs are shocked as the ore starts to glow. Vroom. And are now going to be actively searching the room to find out what happened. I will give you effectively 6 seconds, 1 round, before I roll their first check to see what's going on.
Can I throw some
Who are
stabs?
you? Later, and I'm just gonna ping an arrow straight at the cage, and I'm
Right.
going to do.
We're your saviors, I think. I'm not sure. Are you good? Are you going to kill us? Please don't.
Could I add?
I have rescued from this cage. Shh, silence, please. Perfect. I get that a lot.
Can I add? I don't really care about the effect happening, but I want to add magic to it to explode the cage because I don't think an
The
arrow.
cage is already glowing
Oh
with
right,
magic
great.
and the thunder
Oh
strike. That's
fab!
done.
I'm just gonna try and shoot the cage with one of my arrows.
Make an attack roll.
This is probably a really terrible idea.
Inspiration dice.
Would a 15 hit the cage? Or
Yes.
something? Yeah, great. So I won't add my inspiration. So yeah, I'm gonna hit the cage with a 15,
The arrow arcs out from Tachi's bow.
and I'm gonna
All
duck.
of the creatures see the arrow go and head towards the cage, and most of them back the hell away from it. They're not done. As the cage explodes in the center of the room. As it explodes in the center of the room, the force wave knocks you all slightly back. You are far away from it not to be affected by the damage. Some of the creatures are blown asunder, some thrown up towards the ceiling and smashing against the wall next to you and landing. Some dead, some not. The large creature appears to be largely unaffected by this. However, the doorway that was at the far side of the room slowly opens. I need everyone to roll initiative, please. See who goes in what order.
So 20 over that.
Hang on.
We added anything to that.
Exactly. Roll. Cool. Anyone roll above a 25?
Nope.
Above a 20.
Yes, I did.
Lovely.
I did. 21.
Excellent. Well done. Thatchy. Anyone above a 15?
Yeah, 17.
17 for Shelby.
Minus 50.
15 exactly. Anyone above a 10?
I'm assessing, I've got a 6.
A 6.
You're looking at us, looking at them, working out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thatchy, what would you like to do? You are standing on the walkway with your allies very nearby. Some of these small creatures have now flopped to the ground near you, looking a little bit stunned, a little bit bruised. They don't look particularly powerful, but they do look like a lot of them could be quite nasty together.
Okay, what?
There is also the big creature down in the hallway that is looking up in the direction where the arrow came from with murderous intent. Its gigantic open mouth just looking out.
Great. I don't really have anything that can affect a lot of little things. I'm
Uh-huh.
hoping that some of these wizardy types might have something of that.
Mhm.
I'm going to use my bonus action to Hunter's Mark the creature.
big one?
The big boy.
Hunter's marked.
Great. Oh.
How does your hunter's mark manifest itself?
Hunter's Mark, once again, I ping the arrow and you can just watch as a force just goes poof into the chest, not doing any damage, but just it's there.
It is now marked by you. You do more damage to it.
Great,
Go ahead.
and I would like to roll my 2 attacks. I'm going to choose some different dice. Why not? And try and shoot it in its stupid big face. Ooh, one of those is good. I'm going to add my inspiration to the other one to see if... Okay, the first one is like a 25 to hit.
That is.
And then this next one would be a 10, but I'm going to add this, so hopefully it's good. Yeah, 16.
16 total.
16 to hit.
The first arrow launches out and embeds itself into the creature, but the 16, I'm afraid, does not hit
Whoa.
it. It bounces off its tough hide.
Oh dear. And then I would like to do all my tasty damage, please. So that is, very good. 18 points of damage, maximum
18
damage.
points of damage. Your arrow launches out and embeds itself in the creature, and it takes a step back, visibly damaged by this arrow. Do you move?
Yeah, I'm going to back up, but kind of keep an eye. I'll know where it is anyway from Hunter's Mark, so I'm going to just kind of
Are
back
you trying
up.
to keep it in eye line?
I want to, yeah, kind of.
Okay, you keep it in eye line, but you back up into the corridor slightly. I will
Yeah.
allow it, it's no problem at all. Shelby, what would you like to do?
Am I surrounded by those little creatures? What
They're-
are they?
Tiny little, wretched, horrible things with lamprey-like mouths and little legs.
Okay. Ugh.
There
Yes, I
are about 5 around you that were blown back by the explosion. They appear to look visibly hurt.
I would like
Don't
to-
forget that Ezzy and Konza are still by you.
Yeah. We're on your side. We'll get rid of these. Help! Ah! I didn't expect the explosion to cause them to all be surrounding me. So I will.
They are quite little.
Yeah.
They're on the floor though. We're still on the top level.
No, they got
Oh,
blown
they
up
got-
to your level.
I'm gonna just longsword try and get rid of some.
Cool, make an attack roll
Push it
against
back
one
down.
next to you.
I've got
It is
2
currently
attacks.
prone, so you can do roll with advantage.
Okay. I get 20 to hit one,
You absolutely hit it.
and to get another one, I get 22.
You stab 2 of them next to you, or 1 twice, depending on how the damage goes.
I'm going to go for 2 separate ones.
Great.
So 6 damage to one
Yep.
and 7 damage to another.
As you strike out with your longsword twice, you fell 2 of these creatures, stabbing through them, through their lamprey-like mouths in one case, and across with the other. 2 down, only 18 to go.
Did none of them die from the explosion?
No.
Oh, great.
Because that would be too easy.
Oh, thanks.
Right, Hans, what would you like to do? You are currently, there are 3 more of these creatures at your level. The remaining 15 plus the big chap are all downstairs.
Wait, before at the end
Oh,
of
I'm
my
so sorry,
I
you
have
have bonus
I have
action.
a bonus action.
I'm so
that
sorry.
I'd like to shout to you and to our sorcerer friend here.
You can technically only give one person inspiration.
Can you? Okay, I'll
Yeah.
give it to our new friend. Help us, and we won't die, and I'll tell great stories about you, please. There once was a man from
Don't say it.
somewhere. That was the best I could do off the top.
Despite his weird babbling ramblings, Ezzy, you do feel inspired by this elderly turtle. You have a D8 you can add to any 20-sided dice roll or a damage roll.
I wasn't going to say it.
It's alright, we've all been to Nantucket. Right, Konza, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
There's large people down there.
There's a large one, there are lots of ones.
Yeah, no danger.
No
Ice
danger.
storm to get as many of them as
Ice
possible.
storm.
Yeah.
Primarily the big giant guy right in the middle.
Primarily the giant guy right in the middle of Chicken Little Ice Storm, because it is a very powerful storm which will go right.
20-foot radius, 40-foot high ceiling.
Yep, so you will hit basically the centre of this room without affecting your allies.
Nice.
A hail of rock-hard ice pounds to the ground, presumably sort of magically being created out of the sky. Creatures inside make dexterity saving throws.
Which they all magically fail. Did I mention I'm a prophet too?
Well, they do. All the creatures fail, so they all take full damage, which is 2d8 bludgeoning and 46
Yeah,
cold,
there you go.
please.
That's
Can you roll
exact-
all of those
all
for me?
those.
All right. Here, I will actually use these. 2d8
Great.
plus how much?
2d8 plus bludgeoning,
Oh,
so
that's
being hit
good.
by bits of rock, and 46 cold damage.
So that's 46.
And D6
Oh,
is
the white-
6-sided dice, D8
Yep.
is 8-sided dice.
Yes.
So,
Damage rolls aren't done with a 20-sided dice, otherwise everything would take much, much less time.
10, 16, 17, 22. 22,
22 cold and 10 bludgeoning.
yes.
Jesus, okay. 32 points of
if
damage.
Oh,
you just write down a lot.
No, I'm keeping maths track. So,
There
the
we go.
large
There
creature
must be
is
some-
battered by this effect. The effect is instantaneous and instantly fades. There's only a one-off. This effect happens. As it does, about 10 of these small creatures just howl as they are frozen solid and battered to death.
Great.
Like that. There are now only 10, 12, 8 remaining.
Battered like a master.
Battered like a Mars. But the big one is has taken a lot of this, but is still coming and doesn't appear to be that slowed by it.
Great.
It is a big old hefty beastie. It is now its turn. Seeing this effect happen and realizing what is going on, and with its small creatures taking a lot of damage from this, it bounds up the stairs towards you with its 30 feet of movement. Unreal. And you step out into the corridor. You're on the side, you're on the side, you're on the side. I'm rolling a 6-sided dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ezzy, it's going straight for you.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. It launches itself towards you, its horrible claws reaching out to grab and slash you. What is your armor class?
13.
13. Oh, that's not great. It only rolled an 11, so as it claws out towards you, you lively bend out of the way as this claw comes skipping towards you. It then leans forward and tries to bite you with its gigantic jaw. It's less of a sort of hung bite, more of a sort of jaw sort of flopping over you and sucking in. Yeah, it's meant to be gross. That is a 14 to hit.
Shield.
You use your shield magic, cross it off, and where its jaw would be clamping down on you, much again like a sort of eel-like creature, it sort of blobs off this. What does your shield look like?
It's yellow and purple energy in front of me.
And it sort of almost like it almost chips a tooth on this strange magnetic shield you've got around you, and just boom. It's now standing amongst the three of you on this top level and looks very angry.
I like this one. She can do fancy magic that looks all pretty.
As it is your turn now as well, what would you like to do? It's right in front.
Is there a line of things behind it?
There is a line of things behind it. There is also, again, 1, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shelby is also in that line.
Cool.
Go for it.
There are not many creatures up here. There's only about 3 of them on this top level. There's still 5 down below.
So I won't catch anything below if I use lightning bolt.
No, but you will catch the big thing and 3 of its allies, as well as Shelby. I like this character. How does your lightning bolt casting work? How does it manifest
Okay.
itself?
She flicks her tongue out, and it's a snake tongue,
Excellent.
to feel the electricity in the air. And then...
A bolt of lightning streaks out, passes through the creatures, and through Shelby. Have a dexterity saving throw for you, Shelby.
22.
22, half damage for you, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And the large creature is also taking half damage, but the little ones are not. Can you please roll the damage on your lightning bolt?
I have no idea what it is.
I think it's-
8d6.
yeah. Do you need some more dice? Are you good?
They are quite high level now, so lots and lots of bang
Yeah.
for you back.
That's 6.
Okay.
I'm so dead.
No, you're not. You halve it, remember?
Oh yeah.
36.
36 points of damage. The 3 little creatures are incinerated as this lightning bolt streaks through them. The bolt basically impacting on one side, passing through the creature, and then going
Can I
straight
add
along.
Inspiration.
You
Yes,
can add
you
your
can.
inspiration if you like to.
I'm so glad. Like you.
Add another 7.
So that is 43.
43.
You only take 21 points of damage from that.
I don't like her anymore. She's not nice.
As does the larger creature. The lightning bolt again passing through and passing on. However, when it passes the little creatures, they just explode. We've got a popping explosion. Like a wet pop. Ah, there's enough. Hang on. It's kind of sort of... Yeah.
Yep.
As the 3 small creatures are just popped like little horrible lamprey balloons. Shelby, you have taken a significant amount of damage, as has the big creature.
Oh, can I float 10 feet up in the air as well, please?
Yes, of course you can. The storm sorcerer, using the storm of energy around her, and rises. Are you rising up, or are you rising across, out into the room?
Up.
Straight up. Lovely. You rise straight up. You realise as you rise straight up that you are now very close to the ceiling.
Can I do a backflip? Can I do fancy things as well? What?
It's on her sheet. She can do it. You can inspire people with limericks. It's fine.
And then get shot by.
It's your choice! I didn't make it happen. Lovely. At which point the 5 smaller creatures, all currently on the down base, their movement is also very fast. It is, they are very fast. They skitter up the stairway, and Konza, because you're on the far side as established, they are all going for you.
Bring them on.
Bring them on. They have advantage on attack rolls when they're within 5 feet of each other, so they do. They do that much damage. Just checking the rules on these guys. There we go.
Nice.
What is your current armor class set?
12.
12. 1 hits. 2 hit. 3 hit. 4 hits. All 5 leap up and latch onto you with their lamprey-like tongue suckers digging deep into your flesh.
Well, that sucks.
4, 5.
Yeah.
You good there?
You take 4, 5, 10, 12, 13. Not a lot. You take 13 plus 5. So 18 points of damage as these lamprey-like creatures suck onto you and grab hold of you. And as you do, you feel they're sapping energy from you, and if they stay attached to you, they will continue to do more and more and more damage to you as time goes on. Consider yourself warned. Tachi, you've stepped back and seen this unfold in front of you.
Yep.
What would you like to do?
Am I still within range to shoot with my bow without disadvantage?
Yeah, you step back. You've got range.
Great.
And also, as you step back, you saw this large creature go up the stairs, so
Yeah.
you've now got full view of it.
Great. Bonus action Slayer's Prey,
Yes, no problem.
which is like another Hunter's Mark, so I'm just trying to do more damage. And
Right.
I'm going to shoot it again with my 2 trusty arrows.
Go for it.
I roll better than I have been. Ooh, that looks better. 17.
Yes, hits.
And non-natural 20.
They both hit. Both arrows
Fab.
launch out into the large creature, hitting it in the side where its ribs would be.
Great. So I roll 2d8 and 3d6 of damage.
Yes, you do.
So
Ooh.
12, 15, 17, 18 plus 8. 26, is that right?
20th line, 26 points of damage. The creature is not looking healthy anymore, visibly moaning out of its gigantic distended mouth as Statue's 2 arrows find their mark. Shelby, what would you like to do?
Ow!
The door is open where you need to go. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah, I'm. What is currently directly around me? There's a big
Ezzy's flying
creature.
about 10 feet above and 5 feet across from you. The large creature, this large hungry creature, is standing near you, within about 5 feet of you. Quite close to you as well is Konzus, covered by little sucking lamprey eels. And a bit further back down the corridor you came through is Statue shooting arrows.
I'm gonna run away from him. I'm gonna run towards him and just try and grab these things off of him.
You'll be running past the hungry creature, which will get an attack opportunity if you run past it.
I was gonna say I'll survive, but no, my luck's so far.
Cool.
Let's go.
You do, lovely. As you run past, it swings out with its gigantic claw, trying to hit you and rolls a natural 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look at you, I look at the creature.
Oh,
in
no.
my head, I'm like, you
What
can
a
deal with
shame.
that with all your magic. Like, in my head, I don't say it out loud. I look better. And I run to him, yeah.
And you slide beneath its claws skittering off your gigantic shell but causing you no damage, and you arrive next to Konzo. What would you like to do?
With my dagger, I just like to start trying to carve them off him, like in half,
Okay.
as best I can.
You do get 2 attacks with your dagger per round.
So 19 and
Yep.
19.
You hit 2 of them, you manage to stab 2 of them. They currently have about 5-10 hit points, so
So one does 2 damage and the other one does 5 damage.
do you want to target them all at the same one?
If I don't get through with the first one, let's
Yep.
go with that.
You stab one once and it makes a horrible noise inside of Konzo, and then another one, it sort of pops and melts against him.
We've got a wet popping noise.
We have a wet popping noise, yay! There are now only 4 left.
Okay.
You have a bonus action if you want.
can do it. You can get through this. I believe in you, strange fellow with all the dangerous explosions. More explosions, yes.
Is that inspiring?
I hope that's inspiring.
There we go. You have an inspiration dice again from our bard. I believe it's your last use of inspiration for the day. Is that correct?
Sure.
For short rest, yes.
Very nice.
Konzo, your turn.
I will use my magic to rise 10 feet in the air out of the way of everyone else.
You have to cast a spell to do that.
It does say...
First level spell or higher.
Yes, immediately before or after you cast a spell.
Lovely.
That is very nice.
Just checking.
Yes.
You rise 10 feet into the air, dragging these horrible sucking creatures with you. They stay attached, so they move.
Well, I can't help you if you're up there.
And then I have either Thunderwave or Shatter, whichever one does more
Thunderwave
damage.
would push things, correct me if I'm wrong, Thunderwave would push things out away
Yes,
from you,
yes.
Yeah.
around all of
That
you.
actually sounds better. I think that's the
Whereas
plan.
Shatter would affect you as well.
No,
Yeah.
then Thunderwave, yes.
Okay.
Boom.
Hang on, just checking the damage on Thunderwave.
Evil
I've got
creatures,
it here.
Thank
get off
you.
me.
2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't pushed.
In a 15-foot cube originating from you, so it will affect all of them. Splendid. I'm going to roll for them now.
Will affect me.
The idea of rising up 10 foot to
15-foot cube.
remove.
Yes, it will.
Yes.
Constitution saving throw, please. Shelby.
And thunder.
If moving
Oh,
up.
creatures roll another natural 1. I'm having a great day.
Excellent.
I've given you my curse. You're welcome.
16.
16.
What did your spell save DC and say on top of your spell sheet?
16.
16, yes.
Okay,
So you only take half damage from this, but the wretched creatures will take all the damage. Can you roll 2d8, please? And you can add the inspiration.
Do you want to add your inspo?
17 total.
17. Shelby, you
Yeah,
take
push-
half damage.
push up.
Yeah.
So that is 15 halved is 8. 7 you half down. 7 you half down. So you're going to take 7 points of damage. However, the small creatures who have 10 hit points each just are blown out by this thunder wave emanating from you. And there you go.
Yeah.
They are vatted. Thanks!
Yeah.
There's only the big guy left. The others are all vanquished.
I
Well
love
done.
helping you all. It really helps me.
The big creature, seeing how it cannot attack, the two creatures flying above it there, out of its range,
Oh no.
turns and sees the creature that's been hitting it with
Yeah,
arrows,
that
and the
one.
one standing much closer.
Oh god.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
Can
6.
I like try and draw its attention?
Go on, make a performance check.
If this doesn't work, I just tried.
No, thank you.
We made a promise. We keep each other alive. 2. I vanish.
As I'm floating,
Shelby's going to attack you. I'm sorry,
I'm
buddy.
sorry.
That's what happens.
I will kill you if I survive.
Shelby, the creature turns, seeing this gigantic tortoise that it just missed with its claws, and it is angry it missed with its claws, and is going to step up to you and sweep down with its gigantic hand-claw mess right towards you.
So I'm looking up at our sorcerer friend here,
Yes.
and I look down and I see it coming towards me, and I make a sound approximately like.
It's also going to try and bite you, but we'll do both. Fine. What is your current? Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 20. What is your current armor class?
17.
17. Both hit.
Yeah. Let's go. This is the last time I'm going to be playing. I've been playing for 8 hours so far, so
Yep.
I'm going to give you permission, if you would like, to
To
do
just
whatever
follow
you
them.
want for the
Oh,
sake
wow.
of narrative.
Oh my.
Oh boy.
That is a bold choice.
Don't say that to him.
So long
And-
as you do not destroy his soul, we're all good.
I've already queued up the sad music.
Well, I'm going to let the audience decide. The reason why is we're supposed to finish at 2:25 to give a 5-minute turnover to help us get out in time. I'm very happy for us to do that in 5 minutes and give us another 8 minutes of story time instead of 3 if you'd like to have more combat happen or if you'd like to see it end faster. It is your decision. I poll the room.
What are the decisions? What are the two choices?
Would you like to have Shelby sacrifice himself in a noble way and save everybody, or would you rather see what happens? Sacrifice himself? Do I hear sacrifice or continue?
Yeah, let's do this. Come
Let's
on.
do this.
Okay.
All
Make it
right.
quick.
Okay.
Oh dear God.
Ooh,
12.
maybe not. Maybe we don't have this choice
14,
anyway.
15.
That's me down. Straight away.
It's doubled anyway. As the creature launches out with its claw towards you and grabs hold of you, because it grapples you when it hits as well, its claws tighten around you as it brings you up to its mouth and bites down directly on your head.
I don't think Cure Wounds can fix that.
Shelby,
Yep.
you have in many ways used your magic to bind fate. As you are bitten by this creature, your tarot deck shakes from your pocket and falls to the ground. Would you like to tell me what card lands visibly face up as this happens?
The Wanderer.
That is the 1 on this tarot deck. As this card flops to the floor and lands, can you describe your fate magic to me, please? Describe it for the room.
What I usually do is bring my hands together and pulling them apart. There are strings of magic and fate that appear between them, and I either weave them in some way or concentrate on them to make magic happen and change the world as it's done.
As the card lands on the ground, just gently swaying down and sits on the ground. The weave energy that you use, that your magic is based around, as you fall unconscious, this creature biting down on you and trying to pull you out of your shell and devour you. The fate magic explodes out of this card. Just spirals out. You all see this effect happening. And the last, you see almost time rewinding. Shelby has had various experiences with time travel as part of this adventure. And you see the moment you're in regressing. You see the creature regress back to the point where it was and leave the room. You see the small creatures reappear. And everything goes back again. Shelby, you are a small child. You are standing in your room, looking down at the various options before you, various toys, various things that you could do with your life. There is a guitar at the side of your room, but there are many, many other things. You are not aware of your life beyond this point. You are a child. At this point, when you were this age, you chose the guitar. And it led you on the path you're on now. Would you like to choose something else?
What I do is I look up, I look at the guitar, I look at the books, I look at the toy sword that my father had given me before he passed away, and then I look up out the door, and out the door is a silhouette of my own grandmother, who is currently gardening. She always loved to make herbs. She used them in her magics. And I get up from kneeling, and I just walk out the door into the light, and I go and help her garden. And I go and I start my life as a herbologist and alchemist to help people and to stop them being sick. And the last thing that happens before, if it's okay, before this scene fades out, is both me and my grandmother, with a plant in our hand, a sapling, just planting it in the ground, to hopefully one day grow into a tree.
The rest of you, the cards are still there, but the large creature and Shelby are gone.
I'm gonna go and pick up the cards and pocket them.
And do you continue?
Is there any, other than the cards, is there anything around the Sheldon?
You continue through the door and up into the cigarettes at the final battle with the cards waits. And so we're going to end this hour of Fringe responses. Oh man! I've got a closing speech to do. I'm going to do it. Please spread the word about the show on Twitter.
It's really fun. It's so much fun.
We're on Twitter at Adventurers250, where our stage manager Nemo has been live tweeting the show for the last hour. So please enjoy reliving that. And I'm trying to do something.
I put the miracle in.
Oh god. Our other stage manager Naomi is also live tweeting the show when the other DM runs the game. So there is a live tweet record of the entire show to date, which you can catch up on if you'd like to know what happened before that point and see where the story led to this point. You can also catch them on twitch.tv/adventurouswanted, where we live stream the entire event. That's all 100 hours, will be available online either there or at YouTube. Our YouTube channel is also Adventurers Wanted, so you can see the whole story unfold from that point if you so choose. We'd also love to have you back in the room. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always lovely to have people here and enjoying themselves in the room in that way. £5 player tickets, which is the same you paid to sit in the room, are also available to sit at the table, as Tony did for us today and Emma did as well. So if you'd like to join us and play along, you are more than welcome to. We are technically sold out, but we do get returns. So if you fancy it on an hour and would like to watch if you can't play, that may be an option for you if you so choose. We want to introduce this hobby to more people because it brings out moments like that. And they're so worth it. So if you think it's something you'd like to share with more people, and something you think is important, because we certainly do. We have a Patreon online, also Adventurers Wanted. If you'd like to donate there and support what we do, we run free play events and accessibility events and shows like this in London, Brighton, Edinburgh, and we're looking to expand that. So anything you do to help us would be greatly appreciated. If Patreon's too much, there's also a donate button on our website. I have 4 wonderful players. I have 4 really wonderful players. And I want them all to give a chance to plug what they do in their lives outside of Theatre and Fringe, unless they want to plug a show. For the last thing before we go, please take the mic away from me.
Yeah, so I live in Edinburgh the rest of the year. There are some really amazing Edinburgh performers who give up their beautiful regular nights to have the Fringe hosted here. One such group are the Loud Poets. They are friends of mine. You may not think you would like poetry, but it really is. They're looking to bring poetry to the masses, and they're doing their poetry game show. It's really fun. It's really crazy. You might need it after this, just as something to lighten you up. Yeah, so that's on every day at 9:30 at the Scottish Storytelling Centre, and often tickets are available 2 for 1 or half price at the half price hut. So check it out and see if that's there, but it's definitely worth a watch.
Thank you.
If you're feeling sad and want to continue to feel sad, my troupe is doing The Death of Edgar Allan Poe. It is his final performance tonight at the venue C2. If you go up to the main area where the castle is, you'll see it there. We got an excellent review just last night. It is listed as a must-see.
Oh, amazing!
We've done quite well. We're taking it. We brought it all the way from Anchorage, Alaska. And it is leaving this coming Tuesday. Tonight is its last performance.
Oh, wow.
So I would love to see all of you there.
Well, there we go.
Hi, I'm Oz, and I'm on a journey to help people level up their skills as a game master, as this wonderful man was doing today. I do this via a series of videos and live streams where I give out advice and tips and just generally how to start running a game like this for free. And I am on Twitter, Twitch and YouTube under OzMills, and I have a series of cards here that you can pick up if you'd like to go and look at that later.
Thank you, Oz.
Hi, I'm Emma. I play with Adventurers in London, so if you're down, you should come watch us in Omen. Also, I'm about to star in a live play podcast of Curse of Strahd, so keep an eye on my Twitter, which is Emma R. Sheard, for news about that if you fancy listening to more D&D.
There we go. Thank you ever so much, guys. It's been a really wonderful hour. I hope you can join us again. If not, do enjoy the rest of your Fringe. Thank you.
And thank you, Chris!